I just hit the live button, so I've got a picture. So I'll tell Chuck. All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, I know. There's a plastic bag headed my way. All right. All righty. Thanks. Yes, well, I'm actually, when I post, you'll be able to see it. I've got like New York City. We just barely made it out of the city alive. Went to spend a day to visit my son who flew in from California to New York. And I just want to warn all of the viewers out there and listeners that do not come visit New York City. It is not even part of the American, I don't think it's part of America anymore, but people are rude. It's dirty. Most of the stuff is closed. And it's just, the people are horrifically rude. It's just it was just such a disappointment to what I did before when I came my last time to New York. It's like a third world country is what it is. Dirty and yucky. So, but I made it through the Lincoln Tunnel, so it's a lot better over here. So anyways. No, I know, and it is. It's just, and people are doing it with impunity because even just walking bicycles, cars going through red lights blatantly. They just know there's no consequences, and so why follow the law? And this, like I said, it reminds me of a third world blank hole, as former President Trump put it. That's what New York City is like right now. It's in bad shape, and I don't know how they come back from it. It's 1970s all over again. Yeah, well, I'm anyways, yeah. Yeah. And I'm driving at the same time while I'm doing it. I'm just kidding, I'm not driving. Yeah, I just am sit here on this side. New York City is just like kind of right directly behind me, so yeah, so we can hear it. Yeah, no, I'm not on the freeway out of the car. Alrighty. Yeah, well, apparently, as we know, there's about roughly 33,000 hours of CCTV that all the major media networks, myself, we've all FOIA'd to get, access to this video footage, because what we'll probably see are, Capitol Police opening the door and allowing all these people to go in, and then also we'll see people that are instigating the violence and pushing people to commit violence. And we've already learned that, some of the BLM people were doing just that. And so the new category now is that they're going after conservatives, and, they're just blowing by their Fifth Amendment rights against illegal search and seizure. And by that, they're looking at, like, Bank of America is the number one bank that is opening up and working with the government to find, quote, extremists. And so you're seeing, these people.
Let me back up on that real quick, because Tucker Carlson did a thing on that, and this was like 2 days after the January 6th event.
Yeah.
And Bank of America was showing you, well, this guy lived
This is all illegal. So that means all of these people, they're going to have to spend thousands of dollars in attorney's fees first off, and then their cases are going to get thrown out because it's an illegal search and seizure. It's just like the procedural thing. It's just, you have to get this right. And right now, you have these major, financial institutions, and of course all the social media outlets that are working with the government to target a certain group of people, and that would be conservatives, which is absolutely, idiotic. Now, they've arrested a couple of them they grabbed like cameras and they threw them down on the ground and smashed cameras from like CNN, and that, that's a crime, and they ought to be arrested and charged with malicious intent to destroy property, somewhere along those lines. But they're arresting people for conversations like, we hate the media and you guys are traitors. And one of the guys that was actually arrested because he called the media on social media traitors. So apparently now traitors is a word that you can be arrested and thrown in jail. And we know these people are being locked up in solitary confinement, and they're not getting any of their rights that are enshrined in our Constitution, which is just absolutely ludicrous. And you and I both know, I mean, the majority of the media is corrupt. They are putting out fake news. And I think what astonishes me, and this is why I kind of like chose this topic this week, is the fact that you've got these organizations that represent, and what their sole purpose is freedom of press. And what they're doing is they're saying, we welcome all of these charges. We welcome the government working with social media. We welcome them getting financial information unlawfully. I don't know how that's free. I guess if you're a liberal, that's free, but that's still, there's a process. We used to be a rule of law country, and it doesn't look like we're a rule of country, at least for the next 3 years. But it's, like I said, when you have the media, and it just astonished me, because we are usually ACL, we all just, we have a First Amendment right to speak. You may not like what I have to say, you may not like the way it looks, but you know what? I have the right to do so. And being a member of the media especially have a right to do so, because we're the only profession that is in the Constitution itself. So, I'm looking at a media that's now they're compliant in saying that it's okay for the government to do this. And what they're saying is they're okay with this being a socialist, a Marxist, or a communistic country, because the government could just bring down to any organization they want, say, hey, give us all the information, the people that hung out, and maybe you had like a Patriot Party on Flag Day. Well, apparently now you'll be targeted, and all of your emails and your texts and whatever your post, if you're on Facebook or Twitter, and or they're going to look at your bank statement to see if you bought a flag that day, and then you could be arrested apparently with no due process. So, these are the issues. Yeah, but yeah. Well, I mean, I think they call it the Democrat Party, personally. But when you think about that, the statement you just made that they're blocking us. I mean, I can do a Facebook Live thing. They won't let anybody watch it, so then I have to process it and throw it up there later. YouTube has been taking a lot of this stuff down, and it's a fight, as you know, to get this stuff instated and put back online. They do this because most people aren't going to fight it, but someone like you and I, we're going to fight it, so we can get our point of view at least out. But one of the, when you look at the media, like working, lockstep with this administration, I mean, that's pretty scary that they can do this on such a large scale now. And, the American people are upset. Not the ones in New York, I'll just say, because they're just, it's a different country up there. And it's a third world country up there. It was dirty, just not a pleasant experience whatsoever. But, go ahead. And I just kind of want to say this. Now, this statement is from the people that want to preserve the First Amendment and that they think, that freedom of speech is worth, preserving. This is this organization. Here's the quote. This administration was incredibly concerning and played into a longer and rising anti-press sentiment across the country. Yay. January 6th showed that what the administration says about the media does matter, words do matter, and we have a very negative, very real impact on reporters for doing their jobs. They go on to say that the worst attack in our lifetimes was January 6th. That's the worst thing that ever happened in this country. Not 9/11, not the Civil War, not the Second World War, January 6th. Good guys on there. So I mean, to hear them say that and make Well, and the other point, I just want to make this one last kind of point, like on this topic right here, is the fact that they go on to talk about how media in this country were targeted by the Trump administration, and he led the way for snooping and requesting phone records of journalists and all that, which is an absolute falsehood. That was actually the Obama administration, and if we all remember, the AP and James Rosen over at Fox News and all to get onto the subway as a result of those kind of things. So I walked everywhere. But it's just, I mean, it's very sad that, this was really, where our country was kind of sort of founded here. They all came through Statue of Liberty and entered this country. But right now, we don't have that protection, and if we continue to allow the government, yeah.